The Sultan of Sokoto has called on the DSS and police to quiz the bishop who allegedly instigated killing of Muslims and burning of mosques. INEC to resume voter registration next year. Ofenifere Ohanize and others tells the North not to dictate on them on business. Nigeria stepped to hit 38.6 trillion naira by December 2021. On sport, Manchester United flop as Chelsea win big, and on the international scene, 3 Nigerian Americans win their respective positions at the ongoing U.S. elections. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Abubakar Saad, has petitioned the Department of State Services and the Nigerian police over the alleged inciting sermon by a Bishop Reverend Father Godfrey Ona, who he said led to the killings of Muslims and burning of mosques in the southeast and south-south. The petition to the DSS and police by the leader of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs was backed with photographs was dated November 1, 2020. For more on the story, of now to our correspondent Samira Ibrahim.
In the petition signed by the Deputy Secretary General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Professor Salihu Shehu, Ona was accused of instigating some Christian bigots who unleashed violent and virulent attack on Muslims in Nsukka and burnt their mosques. The report explained that the council is yet to confirm the number of casualties. In the sermon attached, it was clear that the bishop instigated the worshippers against mosques and Muslims.
It is not possible that here in Nsukka we hear the Muslim call to prayer from our windows in our bedrooms as early as 4 a.m. And a Christian who in Abuja takes her Bible to call people to accept Jesus Christ is murdered by an Islamic fundamentalist and nothing happens. It cannot continue. And these are the things we have to say no to. It is not just about SARS. It is about injustice. It is about violence. It is not possible that Muslims in this country can acquire land and build mosques anywhere. Many mosques are rising in Nsukka now. And Christians can no longer obtain land to build churches, even in the so-called Christian-dominated states, let alone the London states.
It will therefore require any disagreement, no matter how minute, to execute the premeditated havoc wreak on the Muslims in the two zones. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SVTV News.
The Senate Committee on Army and Forestry visited Zamfara State to assess the ongoing onslaught of the Nigerian Army against insurgency in the state. The committee, led by its chairman Senator Ali Ndume, expressed satisfaction with the level of progress so far recorded by the Nigerian Army neutralizing the bandit terrorizing the state and its neighborhood. Senator Ali Ndume gives more details on the visit in this interview.
And but the most critical thing is the role that he's playing in the security sector, and that is the concern. You know how we have these challenges of banditry in around, and you people are together with us when we went around. Honestly, you are lucky around this area, I could say. I have seen a very wonderful use of technology here. And if this could be applied in other states, honestly, it will bring down the rate of criminality or insecurity to the lowest level. Because I have never thought that in a room, the governor could, know what is going on almost like everywhere that he wants to pay his attention with precision. And the resolution is quite very attractive.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency has donated some materials for polio eradication in Zamfara State. The materials include 14 bikes and 24 laptops for the purpose of sensitization and mobilization of polio eradication across the 14 local government area of Zamfara State. Receiving the material, the State Commissioner of Health, Alhaji Yahya Mohammed Kanoma, assured that each local government in the state would be given a bike and a laptop to carry out their sensitization and mobilization for polio eradication. The Commissioner enjoined the beneficiaries to ensure judicious use of the materials and warned that any person caught misusing the item will be dealt with accordingly.
We appreciate the donation. Whatever you brought, inshallah, we are going to use whatever you brought to us according to the rules and regulations of the Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The masses and society of the State is going to use it, inshallah. So once more again, on behalf of my governor, Dr. Selman Matola Maradu, we again thank you and extend all our appreciation to the ED Primary Healthcare Development Agency and also the government and the Bahari. In 2 hours' time or 3 hours, we are going to call all the beneficiaries of this, the users of this bike and computers. We will hand it over to them. We will tell them what they are supposed to do. Whosoever breaches that protocols, inshallah, we are going to administratively deal with him. This is used for a purpose of that polio sensitization and the other activities that concern the polio. We will not allow them to use them in anything unless that program. And thank you very much. I wish you the best on the other transit wherever you find yourself, and be assured we are going to use all what you brought the way that what is the ethics of National Primary Healthcare Development Agency said. Thank you so much.
Alhaji Yahya Kanoma thanked the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for its gesture and support to Zamfara State government. The Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in collaboration with the UNICEF, organized a one-day sensitization program on polio eradication. The participants were drawn from various religious and women communities across the state.
The purpose of all this meeting or conference or update is sensitization about the polio eradications, about all other indices that we have in health sector. And there's nothing you can do without making sensitization and explaining to people, especially women in the state. Some they are not educated, some are educated, and whatever you want to progress on, you must sensitize people. You must explain to people. You must make an update. You must listen from people data so that they can understand what you are trying to teach them. We are trying to teach them how to take care of their children, this mortality and mortality, about losing all our children that or having some cripples or some having some indices after delivery is not good. But for now, as you know, Nigeria is free from polio, but we cannot fold our hand to continue living them like that. We have to update them. We have to keep them in touch. We have to explain to them. It's a continuous thing that is going to happen all the time. Yes, thank you.
The event took place at Karama Guest Inn in Gusau. Among the dignitaries that graced the occasion include the State Commissioner of Health, Alhaji Yahya Mohammed Kanoma, Executive Director of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Chukur Samaila, Team Leader of UNICEF Hajia Kulu Sanda, and Hajia Hadiza Gumi. Many health-related issues were discussed by the officials during the question and answer sessions. The task force set up by the Kano State government to control and arrest herbal medicine vendors using vulgar words in advertising their product has commenced operations. The Executive Secretary of the State Private Health Institutions Management Agency, Dr. Usman Tijani Aliu, confirmed this in Kano State. He said the use of vulgar words to advertise herbal product has become alarming, and the society and government would not allow it to continue. For more on the story, over now to Peter Phillips.
The task force has the mandate to arrest and charge herbal medicine vendors to court if found violating the order and using vulgar words in public. He releases the task force hotlines at 080-2859-1598, 070-577-04019, and 070-3372-7878, through which members of the public can call and report recalcitrant medicine vendors. The task force is chaired by the State's Commissioner of Health, Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Tanyawa, with members drawn from the police, Karuta, Hisba, other security agents and health practitioners, among others. Similarly, the Executive Secretary reminded barbing and beauty salon as well as traditional medicine vendors that are yet to register with his agency to do so to avoid incurring the wrath of the authority. I am Peter Phillips, reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, has announced that continuous voter registration will resume in the first quarter of next year, 2021. This announcement was made on Wednesday by Professor Yakub during a budget defense session with the Senate Committee on INEC. Professor Yakub stated that the continuous voter registration exercise will commence throughout the country ahead of 2023 general election. The chairman said the sum of 1 billion naira has also been earmarked by INEC for the exercise. Professor Yakub during the session stated that he is in support of diaspora voting and called on the National Assembly to amend the Electoral Act to accommodate diaspora and early voting. The International Press Center, IPC, Lagos, Nigeria, has said there should be urgent investigation of all suspected cases of murder and attacks on journalists and diligent prosecution of the alleged perpetrators so as to halt the disturbing trend of impunity for crimes against journalists in Nigeria. IPC made a call for justice as journalists, other media professionals, and freedom of expression groups mark the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. For more on the story, over now to Fauzia Ibrahim.
The IPC said it was unfortunate that Nigerians continue to rank high among countries where press freedom and freedom of expression are under threat, stating that the recent database of attacks during the NSAS protests revealed that not less than 10 incidents of assault, invasion and brutalization were recorded. This includes Television Continental TVC Lagos. The television station was attacked and partly burned by hoodlums on Wednesday, October 21, 2020. Journalists and media professionals working in the establishments were also molested by the hoodlums. Security personnel attached with the channel's Television Lagos were assaulted, which led to the halting of broadcast by the station on Wednesday, October 21, 2020. Toyin Yusuf, reporter, Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, was attacked alongside with a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists by some angry youth while covering the protest in Osun. Fauzia Ibrahim reporting for SVTV.
The Kybe state government has commenced the free registration of Nigerian Youth Investment Fund for youth across the state. This is contained in a press release signed by Yahaya Sarikin, the Special Advisor on Media to Kybe State Governor. He said the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Alhaji Gidado Aliu Khalil, stated this on Wednesday while flagging off the NYIF free registration at Emir's Palace in bringing Kybe that the NYIF, an initiative of President Muhammadu Buhari, was one of the numerous youth programs designed to improve the socio-economic status of the youth. For more on the story, Sumaya Ibrahim report.
According to him, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has, in the bid to ensure the full participation of youth from the state, approved and directed his ministry to begin sanitization and free registration into the NYIF scheme. He announced that registration centers have been opened in all the 21 local government areas of the state. He further said only youth who fell between the ages of 18 to 35 years can access the fund from 250,000 to 3 million naira. Alhaji Khalil also lauded the Kebbi State Governor for giving the ministry the note to carry out the exercise. The Commissioner for Information and Culture, Alhaji Mahmoud Awara, particularly stressed the need for the youth to access the fund and engage in economic activities so as to become employers of labor. He said the fund are meant to enhance youth innovation and talent, as well as change their mindset of depending on white-collar jobs alone. Sumaya Dosa reporting for SBTV News.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State has reiterated his charge on the security agencies to be ruthless with bandits terrorizing the state and the neighboring Kaduna and Zamfara state in an orgy of kidnapping for ransom, rape, arson, and cattle rustling. Governor Masari spoke on Wednesday when heads of security agencies in the state brought two repentant bandit commanders from Irela village in Safana local government area, who in addition to embracing peace, also returned 10 AK-47 rifles. For more on the story, Shehu Magaji reports.
The two bandit leaders, Saleh Trua and Muhammad Sani Maidaji, who returned 8 AK-47 and 2 AK-47 respectively, were presented before the governor by the Commissioner of Police Katsina State Command, Alhaji Sanusi Buba, and his colleague from the 17th Brigade Katsina, the Department of State Security and the Civil Defense. The Commissioner of Police informed the governor that it was the view and the consensus of all the security chiefs in the state to request to him to accept the bandits' remorse and forgive them, so as to serve as encouragement for others to follow the suit, while describing the development as very significant milestone in the fight against banditry and other criminalities. Governor Masari urged the security operatives not to relent, but redouble their effort in fighting the bandits until they are completely degraded and rendered permanently inactive. The governor says they would not negotiate with the bandits, but if on their abolition they decided to renounce their violent criminal ways and embrace peace, they are ready to listen to them. That has been the report. I am Shehu Magaji, reporting for SBTV News.
The Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum on Wednesday warned that it will no longer allow a section of the country to play any supremacist role over them. The forum said in a communique after an emergency meeting held in Abuja. The communique was signed by the Chief Ike Clark Pandaf leader and Air Vice Marshal Ikanga, reacting to the meeting of northern state governors with northern emirs and chiefs and Arewa leaders in topmost positions in the current regime held on Monday. The leaders reiterated its call for restructuring before the 2023 general election. Still to come your way is the business, the sport, and the international news, but before then, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let me quickly take you to our business desk for the business update.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Desk. I am Samira Ibrahim. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Haji Zainab Ahmad, said Nigeria's total public debt may hit 38.68 trillion naira by December 2021. She said the projection is based on existing approvals. The minister stated this on Tuesday when she appeared before the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt. The minister's comments come amid growing concern over Nigeria's debt stock. This is even as the nation plans to fund the 2021 budget deficit with 4.28 trillion naira new borrowings, which represent about 1/3 of the proposed budget. In the 2021 budget presented to the National Assembly in October, President Muhammadu Buhari proposed 13.08 trillion naira expenditure for the next fiscal year. He also announced that total federally distributable revenue is estimated at 8.433 trillion naira in 2021, while the total revenue available to fund the 2021 federal budget is estimated at 7.886 trillion naira. Report had it that Nigeria's debt stock has risen by over 158% in the last 5 years. In her presentation, Mrs. Ahmed said the total public debt stock, comprising the external and home debts of the federal and state government and the Federal Capital Territory, stood at 31.01 trillion naira as at June 30th. It is projected, based on existing approval, to rise to 32.51 trillion naira by December 31st, 2020 and 38.68 trillion naira by December 31st, 2021. She further explained that the proposed 4.28 billion naira borrowing was broken down equally between domestic borrowing of 2.14 billion naira and external borrowing of 2.14 billion naira. That's all on the Standard Voice Business Update. I am Samira Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.
On sport, Manchester United disappointing 2-1 loss to debutant Istanbul Başakşehir denied English teams another flawless outing in the Champions League. After impressive wins against PSG and RB Leipzig on match days 1 and 2 respectively, many were hoping to see United seal their place in the knockout phase of the Champions League tonight, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer disappointed, and that has led to the fresh calls for the sacking of the coach. At the Başakşehir Faith Stadium, it was former Chelsea star Darbaba that got the opening goal in the 13th, and in the 40th minute, Edin Visca made it 2-0 before Anthony Martial reduced the deficit 3 minutes after. Hard as the Red Devils tried, they could not salvage anything against the Turkish champions. And on the international scene, 3 Nigerian Americans, Oyeowolewa, Esther Akpaja, and Nnamdi Chukwuocha, have reportedly won the respective positions in the ongoing United States general elections. A 31-year-old politician who hailed from Kwara State, Oyeowolewa, is aiming for a shadow non-voting seat in the House of Representatives. Similarly, Esther Akpaja was elected into the Minnesota House of Representatives, having polled a total of 17,396 votes, which represented 74.7% of the total ballot cast. In defeating her closest opponent, Alan Svtv, Esther Akpaja will represent District 59B in the 134-member House on the platform of the Democratic Farmer Labour Party, an affiliate of the Democratic Party. Also, Nnamdi Chukwuocha won re-election as a member of Delaware House of Representatives from District 1. As a Democrat without an opponent, he won 100% of the 7,640 votes to return to his seat. Mr. Chukwuocha was elected to represent District 1 in the Delaware House. A total of 9 Nigerian Americans vyed for different positions in the elections, and the 3 have been declared winners at the federal level. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. The Sultan of Sokoto has called on the DSS and police to quiz the bishop who allegedly instigated killing of Muslims and burning of mosques. INEC to resume voter registration next year. Ofenifere Ohanize and others tells the North not to dictate on them on business. Nigeria stepped to hit 38.6 trillion naira by December 2021. On sport, Manchester United flop as Chelsea win big. And on the international scene, 3 Nigerian Americans win their respective positions at the ongoing U.S. elections. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garuba Tunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoza. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.